Hello everyone, welcome to Laexcellence IAS Academy. Do you know that yearly approximately 2.5 million Indians migrates from India to rest of the world? How much? 2.5 million people migrates to rest of the world. 2.5 million people migrates to rest of the world including USA, UK, European Union countries and also Middle East countries. What are the Middle East countries? Middle East countries including UAE, Qatar and also Saudi Arabia. The Indian population migrate to these countries majorly because of various reasons. One is for the employment reason and other is education purpose and also third is entrepreneurship purpose. These are with respect to longer period of migration and shorter period of migration with respect to tourism and also meet relatives in those countries. These are the shorter period of migration. And over a period of time, Indian diaspora migrated to rest of the countries including UAE, USA and all the parts of the globe. But resulted in the Indian diaspora is more successful in these countries. In terms of economy, in terms of culture, they are much more successful than the local population itself. Take for example, the CEO of Google is Indian, right? CEO of Microsoft is from the India. And also politically, Rishi Sunak, which is Indian origin, became the PM of UK, right? He became Prime Minister of UK. Because of this growth of the Indians, both economically and culturally, resulted in the growing hatred with respect to the successful of the Indian population in across the world. Take for example, recently a temple attack was happened in California, right? But this growth of the economy and culturally resulted in the stereotypes against the Indian culture, discrimination with respect to Indian culture, which is we can call as racism, right? And also resulted in the hatred against the Indian population as well as Indian culture. What we call this as the Hinduphobia. In this video, we will discuss Hinduphobia. What is the reason behind the hatred against Indians in the world, and also how this can be tackled. What are the measures can be taken to curb the growing Hinduphobia or hatred against the Indian across the world. Okay, recently you can see that recent Hanuman statue was unveiled in USA, which was a cultural growth in across the globe, and also Krishna temple was inaugurated in UAE by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently, right? This UAE is a majorly Islam country, so the Hindu temple was established and inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This shows how culturally is Indian population is much more present in these countries, not only in the USA and democratic countries, but also in UAE where it is a Islamic country. But this resulted in the hatred in every country. For example, take USA, Canada, UK. So such instances happened. For example, take in Canada, Brampton. In Brampton, a Hindu temple was attacked by the Sikh activists, or for example, Khalistani activists. Right? Such activities not only happened in Canada, but for example, take BAPS. Sri Swami Narayan temple was attacked in California, in USA, right? And also temple attack was happened in Bangladesh after resignation of Sheikh Hasina from the prime ministerial post, resulted in the formation of the interim government by the religious fundamentalist. Okay, this resulted in the temple attack in Bangladesh, and also the arrest of the ISKCON monk. And also take for example Maldives, right? In Maldives, there were slogans, Indians go back and Indians are not allowed in Maldives. And also these kind of attitudes are also you can see in South Korea, where racistic tendencies are growing. They're also showing placard like Indians are not allowed in South Korea and Indians should go back to their own countries. And also UK, such recent remarks of the UK Prime Minister K.M. Strong, he said that Asian groups are operating in UK and disturbing the cultural harmony in the UK. The Asian grooming gangs includes India as well. Because of this, external Ministry of External Affairs in India reacted to this statement. And these are the incidents shows how the hatred is growing against India across the globe, right? But what are the major reasons for this kind of attitude which is growing across the globe, right? Let us see some of the very important reasons. Okay, the major reason is the increasing Indian presence across the globe. As we already mentioned, 2.5 million people global yearly migrating from India to across the globe, right? So this Indian population migrating from India to rest of the globe, rest of the world, for example, UK, USA. When they migrate, they snatch jobs from the local, and also they establish entrepreneurship in their countries, and also they impact culturally as well. And they are more successful in terms of employment, in terms of entrepreneurship than the local population itself. Because of this, the local population are losing the economic opportunity in these countries and losing jobs in these countries. And because of this, and also with respect to culturally they are changing, and also they are more impacting the local population in these countries. Because of this, the discontent with respect to Indian population is growing across the world. For example, as we mentioned already in Maldives, South Korea, UK, right? And with respect to second is that social media, right? Social media is accessible for everyone now, right? In these countries, for example, take for example UK, USA, the freedom of speech is very much allowed in these countries. And social media, in the social media, this resulted in the fake news, right? And also hate speech are growing in these countries. These fake news and hate speech are creating the disturbance in the local population, especially among the adolescents, which are more influenced by this kind of fake news and hate speech, because they don't have much conscience with respect to determine what is fake and what is correct. And also with respect to thirdly, right-wing ideologies are growing in these countries, right? Recently, take for example, recently the Trump won election because of the statement "Make America Great Again," which is a right-wing ideological statement. Such right-wing ideological growing across the globe. Take for example South Korea, right? And take for example UK, take for example USA, and also we heard that "Make America Great Again" and also "Make Europe Great Again." These right-wing ideological growth in these countries resulted in the discontent against Indians and also hatred against Indians and economic slowdown. Majorly Western countries, for example European Union countries, Italy, France, Germany, UK for that matter, are facing some kind of economic slowdown. And accompanied this economic slowdown and this growth of the Indian population economically in these countries, the economic opportunity is reduced for the local population. And because of this also, the hatred against Indians also growing. And fifthly, racism and stereotypes. These are already present among the local population, especially Western world. The racistic tendencies are historically rooted in this population. And because of this hatred and discontent among the local population with respect to Indian population, resulted in the racism and stereotype tendencies which are growing in nowadays also. Take for example what happening in South Korea, right? South Korea are more racistic towards Indian population locally. And because of these reasons, the hatred against Indian population is growing across the world. So we have to take some measures to stop this kind of racist attitudes and also hatred against Indian population. Why? The Indian population which are present in other parts of the globe are sending back us remittance, a lot of remittances. And also these population act as a soft power diplomacy for India. So in order to make sure that these Indian diaspora across the globe are safe, also we have to take some measures. For example, frequent engagement with the local government should be ensured to enhance the safeguard of this population. And also with respect to these kind of issues, racistic attitudes and also some kind of temple attacks, a violent attack on the Indian should be raised in the multilateral institutions. For example, G20, right? For example, UNA, right? UN, because all the countries, for example UK, USA, are part of G20 and UNA. So such institutions should be used to curb such hatred against Indians. And also the hate speech, right? And also fake news should be curbed with a proper awareness creating measures with via social media to the local population. So it should be taken by the Indian government as well, from the perspective Indian diaspora as well as Indian citizens as well. So this kind of measures should be taken to safeguard the Indian population across the globe. Thank you.